Hot Updates Uganda. Tubalamusiza mikwano era nga tubeebaza okubeera nga mufollowinga YouTube channel yaffe. Muli mutya era kyekiriwo mikwano. Thank you for subscribing. Mutambuze video. Mwebale kubeera nga mutuwatchinga. Wano wabeerawo bibozibozi ebigenda mu maaso mu ggwanga ne wabiri wa Uganda. Tukuleetera ebiboozi ebiriko subscribinga otambuze video. Naye nga munnange tukuleetera ekibozibozi era nga tuli ku mboozi y'omwana wa Bobiwine ne St Mary's College oba SMAC okususpendinga omwana ku baseless grounds. Ate nga this thing it is really affected many. Kuba bagamba n'abasomesa bagobebwa okufa buli agezaako okuyamba omwana oyo okusemberera omwana oyo oba obutagoberera gavumenti kyeyagala oba obutagoberera ssomero bekyagala. It's like it's a political based thing. Tujja kulaba nga mboozi eyo egenda kati nno we bukeeredde nga waliwo omusomesa era eyemulugunya aweereza ekibozibozi ku peegi emu n'agamba bannange neekubira omulanga tubadde mu mbeera embi mu covid tukoleredde St Mary's Kisubi emyaka 5 mirambiira and plus naye bakeera ne ku makya ne batalowooza nako ne batugoba baselessly without evidence, without warnings, without calling us for anything. Okeera ku makya ne bakuwa ki ne bakufayaringa. Ffe tutaddemu bingi nnyo mirundi mingi n'ebintu bye tugumidde mu ssomero eryo obutatusasula mu budde emyezi emingi oba n'obutatusasulirako ddala. Naye mumanyi nawe tubadde emyaka 2 mu covid twetegese tukomyewo kukola kye batugobye. Bandibadde batugambirawo nga renewing contracts before we started. It's just 2 weeks into the term or 1 month and they have fired us without reasons. Banange Uganda terina constitution oba teri ayamba bano abantu bakulu banene naye twetaaga obuyambi. Banange bino si bibozibozi byange. Njagala mbaleetere emboozi eno tulabe we bigenda. Abantu batawa mulaba embeera eno buli omu anoonya wakolera oba wafunira oba wafuna kyajja emmere. Abamu bapangisa abamu babadde bamanyire kusula mu nnyumba z'amasomero. Okitegeera babadde bamanyire kusula mu nnyumba z'amasomero naye ng'ejjeera omwami Bobiwine ya-addressinzeeko ensonga eyo ku St Mary's n'alaga how emotionally the son is tortured and byonna ebibozi tugenda bikuleetera maasawo. Sasa weerabirawo Hot Updates oleme kumanya nti tukuleetera ebibozibozi obikyamu naye tukuleetera mawulire galiko evidence. Omukyala oyo oba omusomesa oyo oba omwami oyo tetumanyi yagambye I'm a former teacher at St Mary's College Kisubi SMAC recently terminated over 10 others under unclear circumstances. Without any warnings, notice or written communication, and neither were we given terminal benefits nor compensation, and were thrown out just like that. After working for 2 weeks into the term, we have limited options to express our pain and grievances. We have legal options, but we are aware that the institution is mighty, so we remain stranded and helpless. For years we've worked for the college. We still don't wish to cause dispute to the college, but fairness and justice must have seen to be done. Sure, the institution has the right to hire and fire, but they should be sound ground and basis. But in most of these cases, if there was a neutral person or committee to appeal to you, you realize it's institutional politics and which hands are played. For if the institution found us unworthy to teach, it would be done in the best human way possible. One doesn't wake up to be a bad teacher suddenly. They believe there should be previous warnings, negative appraisals, academic reports, or a caution from the supervisors against the individual till he or she deems unfit to continue serving. Capacity as a teacher and we have them constructed to be terminated, but this was not done. Behind every teacher is a family, but there is no care about individual employee, not for the past nor the current teachers. We work in a hostile environment full of threats and intimidation all year round, but endure, deliver results. We just delivered successful UCE and UCEA results, 2021 results, amidst the hardships of the pandemic. It was a record excellent performance. Check the records. Challenges of unpaid salaries or half payment in the entire 2 years of lockdown notwithstanding, Honoring us was the thank you note we received from our bosses. We have bust for 2 painful years in the lockdown. Waiting for schools to reopen, we are renting with the school fees. Some of us were in school houses, now pushed out to look for rent, but without a job in the economic hard time, well, the economy opened for the rest, it still remains closed for us. Even government put a hold on transfers for these years, but our dear SMART could not bear with us at least for a year on the consideration of the troubles teachers have gone through during the lockdown. A big section of PTA teachers at SMART are back to lockdown, no means of livelihood and no appeal because we serve a mighty institution without ears for a poor, humble serving teacher. Who is there for us in our trying times? The school has all rights to terminate any, but about an Ubuntu? The appointment authority knew who they wanted off the college payroll. How about informing us in December or earlier when we had fully handed in our contract renewal application that please look where else? We were honestly laid off in a week, 2 and 3 of yes, nkulatira mbozi mikwano ng'omuntu ono bw'agambye kuba abantu kibaluma abantu babalenze of 3 and of the term after all the schools had filled vacant slots for us teaching less marketable subjects. We are still languishing at home. No money, no job, no hope. That's why we have chosen this route, to see if you can humbly forward our concerns to the attention of brother supervisor, the board chairman, PTA chair, or SMART OBD executive. Most of us have toiled for more than 5 years in this institution, but this is how we were paid. We are requesting for fairness in any way the honorable board is running the school shall deem fit. But most of all, we need to be listened to, we need to be helped. Yes, you wrote all this but there's no explanation of why you were terminated. How is your above special related to Bobiwine's son? And this other person said, yes, because I don't wish to politicize the course, but to show entire white scenario. Because someone's case is one of the baseless grounds for which colleges were accused of mishandling or in the HM's own words, protecting politicians' children. Reason I generally termed it as witch hunt or institutional politics, which stuff Lumbuye did talk about. So the narrative and political like Lumbuye blog, because like I've clearly stated, people were stopped on no clear work-related issues, so they didn't write, warn or give any notice. Thought I had explained, and since I'm remaining within confines of the entire scenario, not just one of Bobby's case, is the reason I elaborated on the general happening than to seek with sympathy using Solomon's case, because he's only a child and still a student. That's why I restricted myself to the teacher's plight, to how they were handled courses. You see, I need to know the real cause of all this. What really transpired about Solomon Kampala? I don't need to mention it, but you need to make my own analysis basing it. You can't say you're seeking a rose from someone's incident and then again remain silent about it. How did it come about? How were you involved? The teacher was like, yes, that's why I didn't wish or want you to do the same. That's why in my explanation, I'm not premising it on the case, but it's just one of the cases used against the section of members that the boy has been indisciplined. Certain staff members are apparently accused of being aware but covered up for him. What exactly happened, whether he had drugs or not, was on ground, but not being a warden, I can't tell. The boy told me it's not true. That's why I make no particular mention of that. Doing so would seem I want people to imagine I was the cause of everything, so I wrapped it as witch hunt and institution politics. Matters of that case are still ongoing and boy would lose his vacancy at the college, so I wish to only express the concern over unfair termination, over such and baseless grounds. Reason the college did no right to any of the attacked members. They simply were a raised up timetable in middle of the first month of the term. Below na attaching up evidence. These are words from one of the teachers that was fired without any evidence or reasons. They just woke up and fired them. Wakitegeera abantu bemulugunya era abantu bemulugunyiza ne bagamba embeera eno teyandibaddewo. naye nga tukyali awo omukulu Bobiwine addresses ensonga eno bukyanga kibandoozi omwezi guyiseewo ommo nga bagamba byakira mu mawulire ne bagamba nti omwana we Solomon bamukutte n'enjaga ku ssomero era okulwa ensonga eyo Solomon bagenda mukola ki bamususpendize until further notice. Mukulu Bobiwine oba pulezidenti waffe yagambye nti kubanga he addressed this publicly ku ssomero n'agamba nti omuvubuka ono oba omutabani we yamala ebbanga nga mugamba nfuna unfair treatment, I'm not okay, abasomesa bansosola, no one wants to interact with me, biki naye nga taata we tamuwa gundi nga taagala mulaga nti simply because you're my son or what, I'm popular and then sagala kulaga nga taagala kiwa matu. Naye ekyasinga omunyiga oba omubbika headmaster kugamba Solomon he can't stand for a leadership post mu ssomero ekyayimirikirako omwami ono kugenda okubuuza headmaster kiki era headmaster yamugamba nti ensonga esooka omwana akyalina kuba average student alina okuba a student oba one of the best students abaperforming obulungi n'ekyokubiri omwana ali famous oba ali popular talina kustandinga mu kifo it will confuse others balowooze nti bamubidde and all that. Kakati ora mukulu Bobiwine n'addamu n'abuuza ku kintu ky'omwana we okubeera nga bagamba nti njaga n'amugamba bwebanga enjaga wali babeeta obukakafu kubanga kamera zibeerawo biki. Unfortunately headmaster yamugamba oba principal nti gundi eyo teriiwo coverage eyo teriiwo n'amugamba lwaki teriiwo ng'ate mugamba omwana bamukutte n'enjaga. Headmaster yamuddamu n'amugamba sometimes cameras is going faulty, meaning corona omwana, that's when they started going faulty. But still when they talked about those things headmaster ono yagenda maaso kola interview nawa endowooza ye nti omwana bamukutte n'enjaga without evidence. This has tortured the son, the family and very many people at large emotionally, and the president says I think this is not fair. Mikwano bino si bigambo byange. Subscribing nga tambuza video tukuleetera ensonga Bobiwine yabyogedde era nga tujja bikuleetera nga ebyabadde. Stay tuned.
That discipline does not only relate to students, it relates to we, the parents, and the youth, the teachers, and the administration. Mr. Chairman and fellow parents, on the 21st of last month, we woke up to this terrible news. The headline was "Smack Suspends Bobiwine Son over drug abuse, confirms headmaster." Now this was in Nile Post, it was in Galaxy News, it was in Spy News, it was even in Daily Monitor. And they were quoting you, Mr. Headmaster, having given an interview to the extent that my son was caught with drugs in his school. As a parent, it was very depressing, and I believe to fellow parents, it was very disturbing. I thought, much as I have access to the media, I thought the moral thing to do was to raise this issue on this platform because this is the ideal platform to raise it. I will mention that for all the years my child has been a student here, I have never attended or even addressed the AGM because I was always politely requested not to attend in order not to cause what they call unnecessary attention. I thought it important because like every other parent, I love my child and I want to protect my child, even protect him from himself. Mr. Headmaster and our fellow parents, to take us a little back, allow me to lay these facts bare. That young man had been reporting to me a pattern of segregation and targeting on him. As we all parents know, sometimes children lie. So I did not give the young man attention. We raised our children to be leaders, and so my young man always hoped to stand for an elected position in his school. But this one day when he came back home crying for the holiday and told me that he could not run for a prefectorial post in his school because the headmaster had blocked him for running for an election, it was disturbing. Now, when all this issue came up, I have spoken to my son somehow and informed me that as the pattern has been going on, this time he had been set up and drugs had been put in his unlocked suitcase and under his bed. I did not believe it at first. Not that I believe it now, but because I want answers, and I believe all other parents I want answers. So I was summoned for a meeting with the headmaster and the team from the school. We sat. I took this opportunity to raise all these matters to you, Mr. Headmaster. Of course, I would request that this will remain in the headmaster's office. I'm only raising this because it was apparently brought to the media by the headmaster. I brought the matter of my son being blocked against running, and these are the reasons I was given, and I want to quote you, Mr. Headmaster. The first reason, Mr. Headmaster, you told me that for a child to be a leader in this school, a child must be an A student, not an average student like my son. That was you, Mr. Headmaster. The second reason I was given for my son not running for leadership in this school is that students that are overly popular are not allowed to run for office in this school because they will pose an unfair advantage to their contemporaries. Now that was disturbing. However, that was not the reason why I had come for that meeting. The reason why I had come for that meeting is because I had been informed by your Mr. Headmaster that my child had been found with drugs in the school. And yes, I mentioned it to you, Mr. Headmaster, that when I asked the young man and those around him, he informed me that he would be ready to take all the responsibility and repercussion. But he mentioned one important thing. He told me that the dormitory is filled with CCTV cameras all over. So he challenged the disciplinary committee, Mr. Headmaster, that if they provide the footage of that CCTV camera, he was ready to take every kind of punishment. Incidentally, when the school administration checked the camera had been cut the day before. Mr. Headmaster, I raised that to you, and I said the same thing, but you told me cameras every time they go faulted. So on that day, they were faulted. This is a school camera, Mr. Headmaster. It was very disturbing as a parent. We discussed because I am very respectful of this school. This school that I didn't get opportunity to study, I wanted my son to study with the campus and state of mind. So, we discussed, we went into an understanding. Mr. Headmaster, it was your submission in that meeting on the 31st of January this year that yes, you did not have any fact to expel into the government. It was your submission, Mr. Headmaster, in my presence, in the presence of my wife, and in the presence of one of the school lawyers and yourself and the deputy headmaster, that indeed you did not have any fact that that boy was not being set up. However, you requested us to understand and agree on a middle ground. You requested us to agree with the suspension because apparently there were other children that were caught with some crime and they were being suspended. So if my son was not being suspended, it would seem as if there's double standards. So you requested us to agree to a suspension even when there was no core fact. I insisted, but my wife convinced me. In effect, the young man was neither guilty nor innocent, according to you. He was there in between. We agreed to that for the good of the school and for the good of the matter not going out there. It felt very unfair, Mr. Headmaster, but because I respect the school and I love it and my son is in love with the school, I agreed to that. It was therefore very unfortunate to see that after those 2 weeks, even when the young man was innocent for as far as evidence is concerned, it was quoted that the headmaster of SMAC gave an interview confirming that my son was found with drugs. That was damaging to the future of my son. It was damaging to my personality and it was damaging to my family. These are my questions, Mr. Headmaster and fellow parents. If the school like SMAC cannot investigate such a grave crime like drugs in the school, how do you confirm to us that you are able to investigate something more serious? What if a fire catches the school? How are you going to explain to us as parents? Number 2, if a young man can be hounded and taunted by the headmaster because there are reports of constant taunting from the headmaster on assembly, in chapel, and personally. And a few teachers and parents can attest to that. I will also mention that some teachers were apparently expelled for being close to that young man. I am informed that my son is psychologically tortured because many of the teachers fear to be seen near him for fear of the wrath of the headmaster. So, my question to the headmaster and fellow parents is, where is a parent supposed to raise these matters? We agree with you, Mr. Headmaster, not to raise these matters in the media because it will be immoral of us. I brought my son here because this is a church-based school. I am a Catholic. Like I mentioned, my grandfather and my father was here, and my brother and my son is here. We want answers. Answers on my behalf and answers to the many disturbed parents that saw this. And if so, it will be on the board to get an apology and you, Mr.
Yes, mikwano hot updates Uganda tukuletera ebigenda maaso mu Uganda. N'obujulizi tubulumene gavumenti tuwaayiriza ebigambo by'omukulu Bobiwine mubiwulidde. That is not good for a parent oba omwana. There must be justice. You can't just come up no letter evidence omwana bamukutte n'enjaga without evidence. Ate nga kino ekintu kigenda ku affecting omuntu kubanga erinnya ly'omwana eyo ddene taata wamanyikidde not only in Uganda. This can implicate the father, the family, the kid. People, muchimanyi abantu, they are dying even n'abaana b'abantu. People are doing suicide because of the things people say out there. This is a young man that doesn't know how to handle such situations. What happens Uganda tukuletera ebintu abantu bagenze manzi okwebulugunya ne bagamba we as parents we know what it feels like to torture someone, to do this with a kid or what. These things affect people mu ngeri yaabyo. Nga we mbagambye wano tubeera ne evidence. These are some of the reviews from people. Waliwo mwagambye Lakembabazi agambye listening to Bobiwine's narrative, what his son goes through in his school got me in my feelings, from allegedly planting drugs to emotional torture. Honestly, some of these schools leaders are just bullies who abuse our children, and unfortunately we never believe our own. Yes, that is torture really. Omulala abadde Sarah Joy n'agamba headmaster smart, moreover a reverend father. Oswazizanya ekitiibwa ky'abafather. You lack leadership skills. You can't make a minor walk on eggshells. Torture him mentally just because you work for the shameless regime. Abantu bawadde views zaabwe. Banji bawadde views zaabwe. Omulala agambye Judith Chalimpa. Politics is affecting students, and any teachers who doesn't agree with such decisions gets suspended. Mwekunganye, you go challenge that decision to dismiss you. Article 42 of your constitution gives you enough ground for challenge such wrong administrative decisions in court. Whoever is in charge of that school should hear from your lawyer unless you didn't have a valid contract, but still they are supposed to take different steps before they reach dismissal. You have enough ground to challenge that decision or go to labor office. I remember a friend who was a teacher was terminated like that and was expected to leave the teacher's house within a week, but I told her to go to labor office and she was helped. She got more time and compensation, yet she had broken some rules. Then someone else is like, it's very unexpected. I don't know what Solomon's parents plan to do, but it almost seems like the best move. Omulalamkisha George agambye. Yes, I don't know what Solomon's parents plan to do, but it's almost seems like the best move would be to move to another school. In fact, they may have to get him an education out of his country. I know there may be spectacle of taking him abroad to study from there, especially since his father probably wants him to remain underground or grounded in culture here and get to know how to run things here as he grows up. But I know, I wonder why can't Bobiwine take out his son. I'm not good at English, but I have taken my time. This is my conclusion. We should pray for Chagwani's family. Yes, people balaba and people see. I don't want to be judgmental, but I think some things torture us emotionally, and sometimes being this is something on the media that is not going to go away today or tomorrow. This is forget We should be very, very careful when we're talking about family. Let's not attack kids. Let's be good and soft to kids. Katusabe ensonga zino zigonjoolwa. Omukulu wa SMART atereze ensonga ne Solomon abere bulungi ne family ye. Matusaako ebibozibozi bannange. Subscribing otambuze video. What up this Uganda? Mbagala nnyo mubere bulungi mweraba.